All right, what's going on, guys? Boy TG, welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to give out our award predictions for this upcoming 2025-26 NHL season. So yesterday was a standing predictions video I put out on the TG Hockey channel. This is part two of that. This time, we're going to give out our awards. So like Hart, Vezina, Art Ross, Calder, Stanley Cup Final matchup, Conn Trophy winner, and so much more in this video. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. As soon as this loads. Okay, so we'll start with the President's Trophy. So the President's Trophy, I have the Carolina Hurricanes taking home the President's Trophy. This was a tough decision for me to make because I didn't know if I had. Like I was stuck between Carolina and Winnipeg. I thought one of them could probably win it, but I like the Hurricanes so much better, and I don't think Connor Hellebuck's going to put up the monster year that he had last year. He'll still put up good stats along with the Winnipeg Jets, but it won't be the run that they had last year, though. And I like Carolina so much better. I liked what they did this offseason, adding a top six offensive forward in Nikolai Ehlers and adding a top four defenseman in Keandre Miller in free agency. And they went to the Eastern Conference Finals a bunch of times. I think they go to the Stanley Cup Final, and I think they win it all. They will be the first team since the 2012-13 Blackhawks to win the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup. Of course, my runner-ups for the President's Trophy, I have the VGK Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets. Hart Memorial Trophy, I have Connor McDavid taking home the award. It's hard not to choose Connor McDavid. You can't pass up on Connor McDavid when it comes to the Hart Memorial Trophy. Taking a look at his stats from last season, he had 100 points in 67 games played last season, 26 goals, 74 assists for 100 points in 67 games played last season. This will be Connor McDavid's first Hart Memorial Trophy since 2023. The runner-ups will be Nikita Kucherov and Cale Makar. Cale Makar, offensive defenseman to watch. I don't think he's ever put up a 100-plus point season before. I think this is the year he does put up a 100-plus point season. We'll just have to see how everything goes with that. So the Calder Memorial Trophy, I have Ivan Demidov taking home the Calder Memorial Trophy for Rookie of the Year. He made his NHL debut last season against my Chicago Blackhawks. P.S. Great game, by the way. I think the NHL uploaded this on YouTube at least an hour of the game. They didn't upload like the full game, like the full 60 minutes. They just uploaded at least most of the game. So you will see some skipped parts in that video. I will put the link in the description. I might also try to put it at the end of this video, but if not, the link will definitely be in the description. But yeah, he made his NHL debut last season. He played 2 games. He had 2 points in those 2 games. I think both of those points being against the Chicago Blackhawks. I think in his second NHL game, which I believe was against Carolina, because it was down to Hurricanes and Canadiens. The Canadiens were looking to clinch a wild card spot in that game. They got the win over Carolina. They clinched the final wild card spot in that game last season. So yeah, that was an electrifying debut for Ivan Demidov. This kid has so much potential. One of the best offensive and skilled young players in the league. So a lot of potential, and I wanted to see him in a Blackhawks uniform. Fortunately, did not. But we got a good pick in Frank Nazar, so I guess that deal paid off. So I did like the Frank Nazar pick. I know a lot of Blackhawks fans like myself like doing the draft year. I think Ivan Demidov, Frank Nazar was drafted in the same draft class. I know a lot of Blackhawks fans were leaning towards Ivan Demidov, but we got Frank Nazar. Still a good pick nonetheless. I am predicting Frank Nazar will have a breakout season, though. Yeah, Ivan Demidov, he takes on the Calder. The runner-ups will be Matthew Schaefer and either Michael Misa or Z Boomium. The only reason why I said either Michael Misa or Z Boomium because I think one of those two will be in the top 3. Michael Misa with the goal scoring that he brings, and see William already a top young defenseman. Of course, he played this college hockey, I believe, at Denver. He was on Team USA for the World Juniors. Got a lot of potential, and I think he can make a Calder Trophy type of run this upcoming season. So that's why I said Michael Misa, Zeboom. Matthew Schaefer is a top lock candidate for the Calder Trophy for sure. And either Michael Misa or Z Brilliant will be the next one in line. So that's just my thoughts on that. Let me know you guys' thoughts about that down in the description, or comments. Vezina Trophy, I have Connor Hellebuck taking home the Vezina Trophy. He's won the Vezina Trophy the last 2 seasons. I don't think there's ever been an NHL goaltender to win 3 straight Vezina trophies in 3 straight seasons. So Connor Hellebuck could be the first NHL goaltender in NHL history to win the Vezina Trophy for the 3rd straight year in 3 straight seasons. Probably won't be the monster year that he had last season, but it will still be a Vezina-like year. Take a look at the stats last season. He had a 47-12-3 record with a 2.00 goals against average and a .925 save percentage and 8 shutouts last season. He took home the Vezina, Hart, William Jennings Trophy last season. I think he became the first goaltender since Carey Price to do it in 2015 to take home the Vezina and the Hart. The runner-ups for this award, Sergei Bobrovsky, Andrei Vasilevsky, the 2 Russian netminders. Of course, both back-to-back Cup champions. Of course, Vasi in 2020, 2021, and Bob in 2024 and 2025. Honorable mention, Igor Shesterkin. I have very high potential in the New York Rangers this year under head coach Mike Sullivan. I believe that they will get somewhat close. I don't think they'll be a playoff team this year, but they will get at least mentioned in the wild card spot. Like, they'll be in the race for the wild card, but I think when it all comes down to this, and I did put out a standings predictions video yesterday, I think the Rangers will be so close to a playoff spot, but they won't be a playoff team. But Igor Shesterkin will still put up a great season with the New York Rangers under head coach Mike Sullivan. But yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts about that down in the comments. Do you think the Rangers will be a playoff team? I think they will be in the wild card race. I just think when it comes down to the final game of the season, final 2 games, I don't think the Rangers make the playoffs. I think Ottawa and Detroit will lock down those 2 wild card spots in the Eastern Conference, but the Rangers will somewhat be in the wild card race. You know what I mean? Well, let me know you guys' thoughts about that in the comments. Do you think the Rangers will make the playoffs this year or not? But I just think Igor Shesterkin should be mentioned to win as a candidate for the Vezina Trophy. We'll just have to see how everything goes. I think he would thrive under Mike Sullivan. So, yeah. All right, for the James Norris Memorial Trophy, I got to take Cale Makar. He had 92 points in 80 games last season. I think he will win the James Norris Memorial Trophy this year. Like I said before earlier in the video, I am hoping that he will put up a 100-plus point season for him to win the Norris Trophy. He won a James Norris Trophy last year and in 2022 when the Avalanche went on that Stanley Cup championship run, and they won the Stanley Cup that year. The runner-ups for the Norris Trophy will be Quinn Hughes and Adam Fox. Honorable mentions, Evan Bouchard, Zach Werenski. I like the year that Zach Werenski put up last season. Those were Norris Trophy stats last season. I think he gets back in the race to win the Norris Trophy, or to be a candidate for the Norris Trophy. And then Evan Bouchard, the offensive defenseman that he is for the Edmonton Oilers, I think he should be mentioned in this Norris Trophy race. But I think when it all comes down to this, I got to pick Cale Makar to win it. I like Cale Makar. I'm a huge Cale Makar fan. He's an excellent defenseman to watch. And like I always say, he's the Connor McDavid on defense. I wish I could have picked him up in my fantasy hockey team this season. I had him on my fantasy hockey team last season. I didn't get him this season because somebody already took him before I had the chance. But yeah, I'm hoping that Cale Makar can put up a 100-plus point season in order to win the Norris Trophy. Excellent defenseman to watch. Top 5 defenseman to watch, if not top 3. For the Selke Trophy, I have Sam Reinhart taking home the award. I was going to pick Alexander Barkov or maybe Braden Point, but Barkov's going to be out for the entire season. Braden Point, as much a terrific play he is for Tampa, I just don't see him winning it, and so I got to go with somebody like Sam Reinhart. 81 points in 79 games played last season, 39 goals, 42 assists for 81 points in 79 games played last season. 23 points in 21 playoff games, 11 goals, 12 assists, 23 points in 21 playoff games last season. He scored all 4 goals in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. But in recent years, Reinhart has developed into a very responsible two-way forward, especially during his time in the Florida Panthers, put up a 50-plus goal season with the Florida Panthers. So he does have some offensive and defensive instincts, so he is a two-way player to watch. He plays a key role on both the power play and the penalty kill. His defensive awareness, positioning, and ability to force turnovers are solid as well. So despite not being that shutdown forward or that top defensive forward, he does have a great defensive style of play that will make him a candidate for the Selke Trophy. And of course, runner-ups, I got to take Mitch Marner and Sidney Crosby to win as the runner-ups for the Selke Trophy. I think Sidney Crosby, this is going to be his 21st season with the Penguins, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think he had a great season last year. For somebody his age, he had a great season last year. I think he continues on with that great. I think he puts up great numbers this season. So, yeah, maybe 80, somewhere between an 80, 85-point season for Sid. But let me know you guys' thoughts about that in the comments below. Art Ross Trophy. I was going to choose McDavid, but I think I'm going to lean towards Nikita Kucherov to win the award. He won the Art Ross Trophy the past 2 seasons. I think he takes it again this season. He had 121 points in 78 games played last season, 37 goals, 84 assists for 121 points in 78 games played last season. I would love to see a 45. This is probably impossible. I'm probably thinking of crazy stats right here. I would like to see a 40. I would like to see a 40 or 45 goal season, somewhere between there, for Nikita Kucherov. He puts up 90 assists as well this season. And, of course, the runner-ups will be Nathan MacKinnon or Connor McDavid. I should have had it the other way around. Connor McDavid or Nathan MacKinnon will be the runner-ups. Rocky Richard. This was a tough one. Draisaitl won this award last year. Leon Draisaitl won this award last year. But I got to take Austin Matthews to win it again. To win it this year. Scored 33 goals last season. I think he has a bounce-back year. I'm hoping this might be impossible. You guys can chirp me in the comments. I wouldn't mind getting chirped about this. But I think he puts up a 70, 75-goal season. May I remind you, he was close to 70 goals before in the 2023-24 season. He had 69 goals that year. I think he gets up to 70, 75 goals this season. This would be hard to do without Mitch Marner on the team. Him and Mitch Marner, in my opinion, was a great talent to watch. So I think it might be a little bit possible to do. But I'm hoping he gets it done. Again, this is a crazy, maybe stupid prediction. Since he had 33 last year, I don't think most people probably won't think that he bounces up that high. But again, may I remind you that he was close to 70 goals before in 2023-24 season. I'm hoping he gets back there this season. The runner-ups will be David Pastrnak or Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid is more of a playmaker than a goal scorer, but may I remind you, he had a 60-plus goal season at one point. He scored 64 in the 2022-23 season. I think that was when he had that highlight reel goal against the New York Rangers where he went through all 4 of the defensemen, and then he scored on Igor Shesterkin. He had a similar type of goal against Winnipeg. And Connor McDavid, man, oh man, he was a beast that year. He was on like demon mode that year, Lord. Like he was a beast. Like he was unreal that year. So, yeah, he was an unreal player to watch that year in that season. Crazy take for this one. I am hoping that Cole Caulfield can at least get to 45 goals this year to be mentioned in the Rocket Richard vote. The highest goals he scored was 37 last year, and I'm predicting he'll have a breakout season. And what better way to predict that than to have him put up a 45 goal season? Ted Lindsay Award, I'm taking Austin Matthews to win the Ted Lindsay Award. He won the award in 2021, 2022. I think he wins it again this year. 78 points in 67 games played. Last season, 33 goals, 45 assists for 78 points, 67 games. I was going to say Jack Hughes, but the thing about Jack Hughes, he gets injured a lot. At least that's from my perspective. You guys might have a different perspective. But from my perspective, he gets injured a lot. And an injured Jack Hughes that gets injured, an injured Jack Hughes will not get him to win the Ted Lindsay Award, or he won't win the Ted Lindsay Award if he keeps getting injured like this. So a healthy Jack Hughes would be great. Great for the New Jersey Devils, because the main reason why the Devils lost in the first round in the playoffs to the Hurricanes last season was because of injury issues, mostly Jack Hughes. So I would choose Jack Hughes. My question is he going to be playing most of these games Is he going to be playing most of these games this season? Is he going to be healthy throughout most of these games? Is he going to keep getting injured? That's the thing. That's why I chose Austin Matthews over Jack Hughes. For those wondering, like, why did you choose Austin Matthews? Why couldn't you choose Jack Hughes? Why couldn't you choose somebody else that actually deserves to be mentioned in the Ted Lindsay Award? But yeah, if Jack Hughes plays most of these games this season, I will say he has a fair shot of winning the Ted Lindsay Award. But if not, it's got to go to somebody like Austin Matthews. I would love to see a 100-plus point season for him. That will sort of make him a candidate for it. We'll just have to see how everything goes. The runner-ups for this will be Connor McDavid and Cale Makar. Honorable mention should add in David Pastrnak. I know the Bruins are not that good of a team. I don't know what they're doing with the team. We'll just have to see what Don Sweeney does for Boston. The only good players they have on the team is David Pastrnak, Charlie McAvoy, Jeremy Swayman. But other than that, I don't really see that much from Boston. Again, I have no idea what they're doing with their team. They might go into a rebuild. I don't know. But I think David Pastrnak will still put up numbers that will get him maybe mentioned in the Ted Lindsay Award votes. But as of now, I'm picking Austin Matthews to win the award. All right, now it's time to get to the Stanley Cup Final matchup. So this is going to be interesting. I never done one of these before on the TG Hockey. This is my first time doing the Stanley Cup Final matchup prediction before the season gets officially underway. And that Stanley Cup Final matchup, I have the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the VGK Vegas Golden Knights. The Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup. This will be their first Stanley Cup since 2006. Conn Smythe Trophy winner is Sebastian Aho. I like the production he's put up in the playoffs the past couple of seasons. He is a top forward to watch on Carolina. And I like Carolina's team overall in general. I like the team overall in general. They've been to the Eastern Conference Final the past couple seasons. They got eliminated in the Eastern Conference Final the past couple seasons. This last season to the Florida Panthers. And then 2023 to Florida. And then 2019 to Boston. So it's been a couple of runs to the Eastern Conference Final for Carolina. This time, I'm predicting that they will make that next big jump. They will be in the Stanley Cup Final, and they will win the Stanley Cup since 2006. They will be the first team since the 2012-13 Chicago Blackhawks to win the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup. I know the President's Trophy curse has gone on for so long now, but I believe Carolina ends this curse. They end the curse, they win the cup. And just to show you guys some of the opening night NHL games, all these games will be on ESPN and ESPN Plus, starting with the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Florida Panthers at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time, followed by the Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the New York Rangers at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then the Colorado Avalanche will take on the LA Kings at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. So hockey is officially back. All three of these games will be on ESPN and ESPN Plus for you to watch. I did a full in-depth analysis preview of this on yesterday's episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. So make sure to go check out that episode if you have not already. But that's going to do it for this video. So, of course, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe on TG Hockey channel. Make sure that you are following the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Episodes are out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and follow on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Also, when I did talk about Connor McDavid in this video, I forgot to mention that he did sign a 2-year contract extension with the Edmonton Oilers. That contract extension will kick off at the start of 2026-27 NHL season after his current contract deal expires this season. That new contract will kick in 2026-27 season, and he will be a free agent in 2028. I'll go more into depth about that on tomorrow's episode of the Hockey Talk Teacher Podcast. So head on over to the Hockey Talk Teacher Podcast YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're an audio listener, you can follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Yeah, again, that's going to do it for this video. Hit that like, subscribe button if you have not already on the TG Hockey channel. And I will see you guys next time.